Hey, good evening, everybody. David Franzine here. If you're on here live or watching the recording, I certainly appreciate your support. And we're on episode 18. I'm doing a 21-day Facebook Live challenge as part of my mentorship program that I'm going under right now. For those of you that don't know me and you haven't seen any of my recordings or trainings before, my name is David Franzine. I am an online marketer in my part-time hours. Full-time, I work as a team member at Universal Studios, where I was a performer for about 23 years. And I've been in security for the last few years. A few years ago, I realized, you know what, I'd like to retire one day. So I decided to go online to try to make some income. So the last several years have been somewhat of a learning curve, and some results have come. They've been a little more inconsistent than I would like. But here about 3 months ago, I decided to dip my toes back in the water, and I really committed to making it work this time. I did have success with one company about 3 or 4 years ago, but unfortunately they went out of business. So I lost that income stream. So about 3 months ago, I started looking for another opportunity. I found a company and a product that I really like and I believe in. The company has great leadership and great training. So I've been plugging away day after day, and we're starting to see some results. And what my goal is to retire from Universal in 3 or 4 years. And then once I do that, I'll be able to devote more time in my retirement to my online business. But the way I look at it, I've got 3 or 4 years to really make this get going and going strong. So I'm excited about the future. I'm excited to be on here and be able to share with my team as it grows, and anybody that might be listening. Most of my trainings, I will be honest and tell you, they are geared to online marketers, people that are in that, what's the word I'm looking for? That niche, that occupation, working from home. However, a lot of my tips can be applied to general goal setting. So if you're popping on here or watching the recording and you see a subject title that interests you, please tune in. So tonight, what we're going to talk about as I get prepared for the storm, I wanted to mention that real quick. I want to send a thought and prayer out to all my fellow Florida brethren. I live in Orlando, so we're going to get hit pretty decent with it later tonight, but it's more the east coast of Florida that will be impacted the most. So I have some friends out there. Actually, one of the leaders in my team lives in West Palm. So Aaron and Kathy, I'm wishing you guys the best as you prepare for the storm, and hopefully we'll get through it unscathed for the most part. If you hear some banging around outside my house, I have a loose gutter still from Hurricane Ian that bangs around every time the wind blows. So if you hear that little banging sound in the background, that's what it is as the winds pick up a little bit. So tonight's subject, without further ado, is give a little, get a lot. Give a little, get a lot. And what am I talking about here? Well, I'm talking about not being afraid to give a little, and in return, you'll receive an abundance. It's the law of reciprocation. And so many people, especially if their budgets are tight and they don't know how they're going to meet their bills or make their next mortgage payment or their auto payment or get food and shelter for themselves, they are afraid. They hold on to every penny. I had a woman at an event I was at this past weekend. She kind of made a joke about it, but I thought it was somewhat amusing. She said, some of you are walking around with the same $20 in your pocket or your purse that's been there since 2002. You're so afraid of letting go of that $20 that you may never see it again. And she's right. And that's the kind of scarcity mentality that I'm talking about. So many people, when things are tight, they're like, no, I would like to give to this charitable organization. I just can't afford it. I would like to invest a little bit to start an online business. I just can't afford it. And as I talked about in one of my trainings a few nights ago, and you can look that up, I think the title was something about when the excuses stop, the success starts, or what's your excuse, or something like that. It has excuse in the title line. I've been doing these every day for about 18 days, so I'm losing track. But you have to be willing to let go a little bit to get back a little bit. And you don't want to go into it with the mindset that you have expectations of getting something back. That's the wrong mindset to have, that, well, I know if I give this $20, I'm going to get $40 back, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. No, you have to let it go. You have to release it into the universe as if it's just gone, and you may not receive it back. But the law of reciprocation states that what you give, you will get in return. If you're a Christian, it's called tithing, sowing and reaping. So in a season, you must sow in order to reap in another season. So that's what I'm talking about tonight. And I'm going to talk about giving in 3 different areas. The first area I'm going to talk about, and this is one that should go without saying, no matter how much money you're making or bringing in, 10% should go to some sort of tithing, whether you belong to a church as a Christian, or whatever higher power or universe you believe in, some sort of charitable cause. You should always, I don't care if you're only making $200 a week. If you're making $200 a week, $20 you should be, before you do anything else, before you pay any bills, before you go buy anything for yourself, you should be putting 10% into that charity. And I have to remind myself to do this sometimes, because although I'm a Christian, I don't go to church because I work on Sundays. I always make the joke that I'm going to have to get right with God once I retire from Universal and I have my Sundays free again. But for right now, I do have a very spiritual connection with Christ, and that's what I'm about. And so every month I do give to some sort of charitable cause, and I have to remind myself to do that, because, as I said, I don't go to religious, function on a regular basis. So I kind of like Joel Osteen, so I watch some of his ministry, and so sometimes I'll give to his. I can't. It's the Lakewood Church, I think it is, there in Houston, Texas. But whatever it is, always give that 10%. Okay, guys, you have to remember to give that 10%. The other thing you have to be willing to invest a little bit into and let go of your money a little bit is something that you feel may benefit you in the future, like, for instance, an online business. I talk to a lot of people. I try to bring a lot of people into my business, and a lot of those folks, I hear the excuse over and over again. They're like, well, I don't have any money to start. Well, if you don't have any money to start, you need this opportunity more than you know, because the reason you don't have any money is because you're afraid to take a chance. You're afraid to put yourself out there and invest in something that might benefit you down the road. So, it's like Robert Kiyosaki says in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. His poor dad always says, well, we can't afford that. Well, his rich dad would say, how can we afford that? So if he was presented with a money challenge, the rich dad would always say, well, yes, we're going to do that. How can we afford it? And he would always find a way to come up with the money or whatever resources he needed to make it happen, to invest in something, to buy real estate, to do whatever. So that's what I'm talking about. My online business that I'm in right now, you could start as a free affiliate, but we always recommend that you actually purchase some product in the beginning, because you're sowing that seed. You're being a product of the product. You're showing that, and this is what one of the speakers talked about this weekend too. She said, you want to make $5,000 a month in an online business, but you're not willing to put in one damn penny to make it happen. And that's just, again, goes back to that scarcity thinking, that you're so afraid to let go of something, and you just are afraid that it will never come back. And she recommended, and this is the second thing I'm talking about when I'm talking about giving something away, is be willing to invest 10% in your business or your opportunity or whatever it is you're going after. So in other words, if you want to make $5,000 a month, you should be willing to put $500 a month into that opportunity. me, for example, right now I put money, and I'm not going to tell you the amounts or what my income desires or goals are, but I put a minimum of 10% of whatever, money I make from Universal or my other, investments or whatever. And fortunately, I'm in a position that I'm able to do that. But I do put 10% every month into the business with the expectation that I'm going to receive tenfold that in return. And that's the law, the principle, the law of attraction, the sort of thing. And it's not really law of attraction, that I take that back, but law of attraction is kind of another deal altogether. But it is a law of reciprocation, that what you give, you will receive back. If you do it with a giving heart, your willingness to seduce others to serve you so that you can serve others. Is that the saying she said at this weekend event? This speaker mentioned that. She said, seduce others to serve you by your willingness to serve others. That's it. Seduce others to serve you by your willingness to serve others. So you have to, without thinking of the return that you're going to receive, without thinking, oh, if I give here, I'm going to get back so much. I have to do this and I definitely will get this back. No, you put that out of your mind. You just give with the attitude of servitude, that you're out there to help other people. You're out there to make the world a better place, and you're willing to give. So always be willing to give a little to get a lot. Okay, guys? And the third thing I want to mention, and this is just my own personal recommendation, something I learned at a fairly early age, and I'm glad I did, because for probably close to 30 years now, I've been applying this principle. The other thing is always pay yourself 10% first as well. That goes towards savings for retirement, so that you have a nest egg in your later years. Always, no matter how much your money you're making, again, like I say, the example, like $500, if you're only making $500 a month, well, you should be putting $50 away for a future savings. So those are the three things I recommend giving 10% of. And I know 30% seems like a lot when you're struggling to get by, but if you can't do 10%, at least do something. But I always recommend 10% to invest in tithing. And that's not really an investment, that's just tithing. 10% to invest in your business, and then 10% to invest in you and your future self for your retirement. So if you do that and do it with a giving heart and with a abundant mindset, thinking prosperity, not scarcity, prosperity, not scarcity, you'll do that. Find the money. If you're trying to invest in an online business, and like in my mind, what I'm talking about when I say purchase some product, I'm not talking about $1,000. I'm talking about $100. And if you can't find $100, you need to try to be more resourceful. You need to find a way, borrow it from a friend, put it on a credit card, something. But if you really expect to receive something back, you have to be willing to give something. You have to be willing to invest in yourself and your business, and then you will reap in due season. Okay, so that's it for tonight. That's what I wanted to talk about. Give a little, get a lot. Don't be afraid to pull that $20 out of your pocket and spend it and invest it in something, knowing that it's going to come back to you tenfold. Okay, guys? So thanks for watching. And I'm back for 3 more straight nights. I've got episode 19, 20, and 21 to finish up my 21-day live. And then you won't have to deal with me for a while, because I'm going to go hide in a dark closet. I'm just kidding. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy this format, talking to people and training people in this regard. I am kind of running low on things to talk about, so I am open to suggestions or topics that you might suggest for me. But what I'm going to plan on doing after the 21 days is because I do enjoy doing this, I'm going to still try to do a live like at least once or twice a week. So it won't be on a nightly basis, but it'll be on a weekly basis at least. So look forward to that. I look forward to communicating and connecting with as many people as I can. And once again, I'm thinking of all everybody in Florida and everybody that might be impacted by Tropical Storm Nicole. I haven't watched the news yet tonight. I took a nap a little while ago, so I don't know if it's turned into a hurricane yet or not. But last I knew, it was still a tropical storm. But thoughts and prayers for everybody in Florida. And I'll see you guys again real soon. Have a great night. Bye-bye.